Hello viewers, this is a recording of the actual driving exam in Morden Test Centre, and I will be watching this video with you for the first time, and through the video I will try to give you my feedback regarding what is happening during this exam. Obviously, hopefully this will help you guys to prepare for the actual exam. I am doing this for the first time, so please forgive me if there's like longer pauses. Well, you know, it can be a little bit boring sometimes, especially when nothing is happening, but hopefully you will enjoy it. And well, it's been a minute and we're not moving. For a second the car moved over there. Oh yeah, now we are moving. So obviously there's no wipers so please use your wipers if it's raining. Obviously when she was moving off, just make sure that you will do all around observations. Oh, sudden stop. Alright, still no wipers. So guys, I know you are nervous. I know it's the first time, hopefully first time you will be doing your exam. This driver is doing the exam for the first time. It's been 2 minutes and we are still not on the road, but obviously if there's traffic, absolutely no pressure. We always want to wait for the perfect opportunity, because there's no do-overs, right? The car will move into the road, and if we will misjudge the speed of the oncoming cars, then we will be in trouble. All right, still no wipers. Oh yes. And we have our wipers on. Okay, great. Dual carriageway ahead. Obviously, if you are preparing for Morden Test Centre, you should be familiar with the roads. Hopefully your driving instructor is showing you possible sort of test routes and areas. And we are on our way on this dual carriageway, following the road. Speed camera on the right, 30 miles an hour, and the sign on the left for either Rose Hill or Central London and Wimbledon, so examiner can point it out to follow the sign. Few things I just want to mention. So obviously there's no video from the inside of the car, because during the actual exam we are only allowed to record the outside, so there's only a dash cam view. I mean, obviously we can put like a camera on the car's roof or something, but this is just a camera which is inside of the car. And obviously there's no audio as well, because we are not allowed to record audio or the inside of the car during the actual exams. So all you will see is the dash view, and hopefully I will not be too boring with taking you through this test. So where are we going? Straight or left to the car park? Okay, so we are going left. So obviously don't forget, on approach to the lights, mirror signal, 30 sort of meters away, whatever, 25 meters away, 6 car lengths, whatever works. And we are going to the car park just behind Merton College. So the first sort of gate, that's no entry, so you have to go past the first gate and enter right into the car park. via the second gate. Speed limit, as you can see, is 5 miles an hour at the car park, so you want to reduce to gear 1 and just slowly progress. Oh, sorry, just adjusting my seat. So when you will enter the car park, examiner will walk you through the maneuver. They will ask you to do either forward or reverse parking into a bay. They might ask you which side you will be parking at. They might tell you the actual bay you should go to, or they might just say that choose any bay on the left or on the right, and they will ask you to then enter the bay. Please remember to do good all-around observations. Make sure that you do those observations throughout the whole maneuver, so you're allowed to stop multiple times if you have to keep checking. We want to obviously identify other road users and stop if necessary. Alright, so it looks like we're doing reverse parking into the bay on the right hand side. Obviously my car has a reversing camera, which is, you know, let's say a popular feature now in the new cars. So you are absolutely allowed to use the camera, you are allowed to use the mirrors, all the features of the car. Just remember, not focus only on one feature. So do not only focus on your mirrors or just stare at the screen of the camera. Just making sure that you're using all the features of the car, including your blind spot, looking through the windows. Alright. Maneuvers should be slow. I would say that it is a recommendation. Alright, okay, so it looks like she is correcting, which is absolutely fine to do. Make sure that you will change to first gear, make sure that you will do your observations correctly, and then you can correct your position multiple times if necessary. The purpose of this exercise is to end up in a box, so make sure that you can see the lines besides your car. Make sure that you can see the line at the back as well. So we have a like I mentioned, we have a camera, so we can see where the line which is closing the bay at the back is. So this can definitely help. Alright, we're taking our time. But obviously, like we said, well, let's say the slower the better. Well, maybe not literally, but yeah. So it looks like the car, oh, not yet. Yeah, so it looks like we've finished now. So examiner will obviously check. Just before you will say that you are done, make sure that the car is fully in the box. If examiner will take you outside and show that the car is not really parked correctly, then we could be in trouble here. But it looks like the examiner is not walking around the car, because we would see the examiner sort of maybe walking in front of the car. But so it looks like maneuver was absolutely fine. I mean, obviously I was present during the briefing at the end of the test, so I know that there was no issues with the maneuver, because obviously examiner was not mentioning this during the briefing. And obviously when leaving your bay, check your mirrors, signal if necessary. Obviously if there's other road users and they can respond to your indicator, use it. If not, if the car park is empty, then obviously just observations and then just move off. And then we leave the car park and getting to the lights. So obviously we can go left or right. This is a T-junction. Alright. Maybe a little bit too far forward. As you can see, the bonnet of the car slightly covering this pedestrian crossing. I mean, we are not in a pedestrian crossing as such, but maybe a slightly over the line, over the stop line. So obviously the junction is extremely simple because the lights will change. There's no road in front of us. So going left or right, just making sure that it's safe. Always check your mirrors and then moving off. All right, we're turning right, so entering the left lane. Oh yeah, this is nicely done. And we have cars ahead, so check your right mirror, and we will be going around these parked cars. If there would be cars in the right lane, then it would be nice to use the indicator as well if crossing road markings. But again, there's no cars behind us, then we don't have to use the signal. All right, we stay on the left. So I'm assuming we will go left because we just arrived from the test center. So we just arrived from the opposite direction. So I don't think that they will be going back to the test center area. So I'm assuming they will go left. Yeah, awkward silence. Sometimes the lights are taking their time, and you know, examiner might talk to you. Most examiners will be quiet. They don't want to sort of interrupt your exam. But it's hard to say. Some people prefer to talk. Some people will just sit there in silence. It depends who you're gonna get. So we are entering green lanes, following the road. This leads towards Rose Hill roundabout. And just a reminder that this is all 20 miles an hour over here. And there's a cycle lane on the left-hand side. It looks fairly slow, so it looks alright. A few humps. Zebra crossing ahead. Obviously make sure you check your mirrors when you are approaching a pedestrian crossing. Slightly too deep to the left, I would say. So I would recommend to dominate the position. Oh, Lucy, so this is what I meant. Slightly too deep to the left-hand side, and now the car had an opportunity to overtake. I would recommend to dominate position more because we are clearly driving in this cycle lane. I know the road markings are difficult to see, but this could be a big issue on the test because we are sort of encouraging this vehicle to overtake. I mean, they might be obviously breaking speed limits. If we are doing 20 miles an hour and people still overtake, then obviously this is not on us. But if we will dominate the position a little bit better, then we will prevent this possibility for the other driver to actually overtake us. So definitely a little bit too deep to the left hand side. We've opened the space for that car. Still following the road. There's not much going on over here because this is pretty much a dual carriageway, straight road all the way down to the Rose Hill junction. A little bit of traffic ahead. Now when we are approaching this junction, there's an actual sign on the right hand side which can be used by the examiner. They can ask you to follow a certain direction on the sign. So we have a little bit of queue. Alright, the traffic is slowly moving. Hopefully you enjoyed the music. Try to choose something like a camp music just to chill out a little bit. We are almost 12 minutes, oh no, 15 minutes into the test. So let's say it's nearly half of the exam done. There was no parking on the left yet. We will see when they will park on the left, because they will park at least a few times. I mean, I'm just predicting. But for now, slowly in traffic. And the sign I was talking about is coming up on the right hand side. And I don't think they are using the sat-nav, because there is sometimes when the examiner will put the sat-nav on the dashboard just beneath the front windshield, then we can partially see it in the middle of the car, like during the drive, like you can see it on the recording, but it looks like there's nothing in the middle of the car. All right, left lane. So the assumption is that we will either go left into St. Helier Avenue, dual carriageway, or we will go second exit to Meacham. Alright, just waiting for the lights to change. Obviously, if there's any questions, you please do not hesitate to send me a message or just leave the review. I am doing this for the first time, so hopefully someone will find this useful. Sometimes cars get stuck in the middle of the road. We can see it over there in the left corner. So we just make sure that everyone stopped, because there's another car pushing over there, like an orange car. Light is still green. Obviously I don't know where they're going, so we stay on the left for now. Alright, so we've been obviously taking exit number 1 into Rose Hill Junction, and that's St. Helier Avenue. So please remember to wait with the left signal on approach to the lights, because we are taking exit number 1. Now we've crossed the 40 sign on this video, because this video was made in December 2023, but those changed now into a 30 miles an hour. So the St. Helier Avenue, as of, I would say, early March 2024, is a 30 miles an hour road. All right, traffic lights. Okay. Well, you know, if we've been doing 40 miles an hour and it is a point of no return, so obviously we cannot just do emergency stopping. So we cross on the amber light, but clearly the driver decided that we are driving too fast to stop. We are too close to the lights to stop. And again, this situation was not mentioned during the briefing at the end. And guys, clearly we can see a serious fault over here. And this is what happened during the exam. So obviously that was an observation issue, judgment issue, because the driver of the car entered a bus lane, and the signs are telling us that we are not allowed to use the bus lanes in St. Helier Avenue. We cannot use them any day of the week, anytime. It's not allowed to enter. An examiner was, I see, and again she's trying to go back to the bus lane, which is obviously not allowed. So eventually the examiner was involved and obviously mentioned that you should stay on the right until the bus lane ends and then change lane to the left. So unfortunately that was a problem on the test. So which is very surprising because we've obviously been in those places so many times. Oh, you know, sometimes it's nerves, sometimes it's just we can get a little bit of, you know, confusion. Well, there's always a second try, or the next try. So we carry on, 20 miles an hour. Alright, so this is quite surprising because there was a bay over there and the driver went past the bay completely and stopped on the yellow line, blocking the driveways. So that's quite surprising. So me personally, I would say that you should stop in a bay unless examiner will specifically ask you to stop somewhere else. So obviously I cannot hear what the examiner was saying, but I would assume that examiner mentioned stop in a safe place unless they will be doing a maneuver here or something. Okay, so they just parked on the left and driving away. So in my opinion, try to avoid stopping on the yellow line unless examiner specifically points out that you can stop on the yellow line, or they will say for the test purposes pretend there's no driveways, and then you can pull up anywhere on the left. Oh, slightly deep. It was going well for the first sort of 20 minutes. Then there was a bus lane problem, parking on the left, slight issue over there. Oh, you see, and now we've stopped clearly in a bay, and this is so much better than last time, because last time the driver went past the bay completely, stopped on the yellow line besides the driveways. Over here we clearly stopped in a bay. The distance looks good, the curb looks like it's in the middle of the car, so it looks alright. After stopping, examiner will either ask you to drive away immediately, they can brief you about something, because maybe you will complete some sort of exercise. So obviously when driving away, 6-point check, right signal, and then off we go. And we have right of way at this junction, so we continue following that van. So they already stopped on the left twice. I would say that they should stop maybe at least once more. Alright, so the van is parking. And obviously again we want to dominate position. The cars parked on the left and on the right. So we stick to the center of the available space. 20 sign written on the road. Approaching the giveaway line. Alright, we're going left. And again following the road. Like, a lot of those areas are not 20 miles an hour, so most of the test is fairly slow. Within the 20. Ooh, hammer on the right. And still following the road. Yeah, the wipers are doing their job, because at the beginning, alright, looks like they're parking again on the left. Alright, nicely done. Sometimes examiner can ask you to stop and leave about a car length of space between you and the car in front, and then they will ask you to do driving away at the angle. So basically you will have to just turn sharply around the car in front. Oh, we're rolling back a little bit over here. Alright. Obviously, to prevent rolling back, handbrake is applied, biting point, look over your shoulder, and then release your handbrake at the biting point, so the car will not roll back. So overall, the test is not bad so far, I would say. Actually, looks alright. Okay, a little bit of narrow space over there. Both of these cars are trying to park. Yeah, so like I was saying, the test looks alright. I mean, obviously the bus lane issue, then stopping on the left over there, but I would say stopping on the yellow line is not a test ending problem. Definitely the bus lane is a big deal here. Alright, so just driving defensively, giving way to these people. Nicely done. Alright, check your right mirror, move off. Someone is chilling in the middle of the road over there. Alright, they're gone. Okay. And again, defensive driving, we gave way. They have a good opportunity to move off. And at the lights. Alright. Stopping nicely at the line. Obviously, we leave the cycle box empty. Again, I don't know if they're going straight or if they're going right. We will know soon enough. Alright, the lights change on the opposite side, so a few cars will go. Last time when the car was parked, it rolled back a little bit. Alright. And there might be a queue behind us and there's no space for this car on the right hand side. That's why they stopped. Alright, looks like we're turning right. Alright, we stop in the middle of the road. Don't go too deep to the right hand side because we don't want to cut anybody off. We don't want to sort of make other road users to go around our car. This would be a a positioning on the positioning issue. But it looks like this right turn went fairly well and following the road. Obviously, I'm fairly familiar with the areas. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, so there's those two chicanes coming up. So when you are approaching, they are like traffic calming measures. So when you are approaching those chicanes, obviously they're designed to slow you down, reduce to second gear, steer around those islands in the middle. That's it. Nice and slowly, take your time. And we're still following the road. So there's a tricky junction at the end of this road. I'm assuming they will turn right at the end of this road. Just please remember that you will be turning into a dual carriageway. There's a sign on the left hand side. Now I'm assuming they will go right because we've already been on green lanes. Because this is the road that we will be joining into. So we are just approaching this zebra crossing. Umbrella. That's it. Okay. So when you will be approaching this junction, please remember that you're turning into the dual carriageway. So you go straight over the yellow box and there's another giveaway line over there, just in front where the arrow is pointing to the right. So we will cross, check your left hand side, and if there's nothing there, we join the road. After joining, examiner will ask you to either follow the signs or take a left at the lights, because we are back to pretty much almost where the test began. Okay, so just following the signs for M25 or take a left at the lights. And please remember that we have a filter light over here, so there could be a green arrow coming up. Alright, the Corsa in front of us is indicating. We technically don't have to indicate because it is left only, but there's nothing wrong in doing that. Just following the road and back into our dual carriageway, which takes us back to the test center. We are 29 minutes, almost 30 minutes into the test. Now, obviously, the driving on the test doesn't take 40 minutes. It can, depends on the traffic. But the 40 minutes of the exam includes everything. It includes sort of meeting examiner in the test center, going to the car, you know, the briefings. So the driving part is usually around 30 to 35 minutes. Alright, they're changing lane like that. What is happening here? This blue car was completely not in the way. I mean, they are parked in a lay-by. What's the point of changing direction like that? I mean, obviously, if you will check your mirror, you are assuming that maybe the car just stopped and the doors might open. Fine. I mean, you can go around the road markings, but try to stay in your lane. And again, checking your right mirror and changing direction around those parked cars. All right, and we are about to arrive to the traffic lights. Obviously, this is Woodstock Junction, so the Asda is on the left, test center is on the right, light is red, it's just changed. So we're slowly chilling towards the junction. Take your time. Very, very nice. All right. So obviously this right turn is slightly tricky because we have these oncoming cars from the opposite side of the road. Plus, obviously, when we will stop in the middle of the road, car can roll back slightly because it is sort of uphill. So handbrake is fine, but if there's no traffic, then we just zip right. Now we have cars, so we will have to stop in the middle of the road. And please remember to position your vehicle accordingly to what the other people are doing, because we want to drive defensively. So if someone is trying to turn in front of us, position like they do, like a mirror image of what the other driver is doing. Okay, we have a little moped ahead. Now we are absolutely allowed to stop in the yellow box because we are turning right. Our exit is clear on the right hand side over there, and we are prevented from leaving the junction by oncoming cars. So we look at the indicators. The van is turning, so we just want to go past the van. The van is going deep, so we will go past the van. And we stop in the middle of the road and we wait. Do not go over the island, otherwise the nose of the car will be sticking out into someone else's lane. The Audi is leaving, and the test center is on the right hand side, just by the barber shop over here. And it looks like we will park on the left, and this is it. All right, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this voiceover. If you have any comments at all, just let me know how I can improve that. And that's it. Thank you for watching. All the best.